Good morning, students. Welcome back to online class. Today we are going to discuss fourth lesson problems. First problem: how many electrons will be there in 1 coulomb of charge? So what is given here? 1 coulomb of charge is given. We have to find out to the how many number of electrons. So what is the symbol of charge? Q. Q is equal to 1 coulomb is given. And charge of one electron, this is taken as a charge of an electron, it's a constant value, 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So what is the formula for charge? Q is equal to Ne. Q is equal to what formula? Ne. Then what will come? N is equal to Q by E. E is cross multiplied. So now we have to substitute the values as N is equal to Q by E. Q gets a value is equal to 1 is divided by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Now you have to simplify. Now 10 power minus 19 is shifted to the numerator term. So plus is changed into minus. So N is equal to a 10 power 19 is divided by 1.6. Is divided by what value? 1.6. So it's understood 1 into 10 power minus 19 is plus 19 is divided by 16. Minus is converted into plus. Okay. So N is equal to 10 power 19 divided by 1.6. So we have to simplify. How we could able to simplify? Numerator and the denominator terms are multiplied by 10. So what will come? N is equal to 10 into 10 power 19. 10 into 10 power 19. 10 is multiplied, is divided by 10 into 1.6. There is no changing of the value. That's why numerator and the denominator terms are multiplied by 10. So what will come? 10 into 10 power 19 is divided by 10 into 1.6 equal to 16. Isn't it? Now you have to simplify. Second table. 5 2s are 10, 8 2s are 16. So what will come? 5 by 8 into 10 power 19. 10 power 19. Now you have to simplify. How you could able to simplify, ma? The 5 is divided by 6, isn't it? Let us take an as. I hope you understand the steps, ma. Okay. Now let us move on to 5 is divided by 8, isn't it? So this is taken as 5 and this is 8. It's divided by. So 5 cannot be divided by 8. You have to add point and here 0. So how many 8s are 50 ma here? 50 it's not a it's a rounding number, isn't it? So 6 8s are 48. And remaining 2 you have to add 0. Then afterwards 2 8s are 16, remaining 4 40, 5 8s are 50, 5 8s are 40, isn't it? So we could able to write this is 5, this is 8, so 0.648 and 20, 2 8s are 16, remaining 4, 5 8s are 40. So it's given the answer is 0.625 into 10 power 19, or else we could able to write this answer. It's a 10 power 19, 110 is multiplied with 0.625. It gives the answer is equal to 6.25 into 10 power 18 electrons. Both the answers are same only. Okay. Now let us move on to the second problem. If 25 coulomb of charge is determined to pass through a wire of any cross section in 50 seconds, what is the measure of current? So what are the values are given? The charge value is given. What's the symbol of charge? Q. And it is passes through how many seconds? 50 seconds. So T value is given. What we have to calculate? Current. So what is the formula? I is equal to Q by T. Now we got to substitute the values. Q value is 25 and T value is 50. So we have to simplify. 5 5s are 25, 10 5s are 50. So 5 by 10. So 5 by 10 is equal to what will come? 0.5. What is the unit of current? Ampere. Are you understand, children? So next we got to move on to third problem. The current flowing through a lamp is 0.2 ampere. So what is flowing here? Current is flowing. What is the symbol of current? I. If the lamp is switched on for 1 hour, so it is utilized for 1 hour, is it? What is the total electric charge that passes through the lamp? So first we have to write what are the datas are given. What are the datas are given? The current value is given. I is equal to 0.2 ampere. And the time is given. The lamp is switched on and it is utilized by 1 hour. So T is equal to 1 hour is given. R is not a unit, it's a unit of time. So what we have to do, the hour unit is converted into the second unit, because already you know the unit of time is second. SI unit of time is second, isn't it? So we have to convert the R unit into the second unit. So 1 hour, how many minutes? 60 minutes. 1 minute, how many seconds? 60 seconds. It is multiplied. What will come? T is equal to 6 6 are 36. 3600 second. That is only is given here. Okay, 1 hour is equal to this value. So first you have to write what are the values as are given in the problem. First, I is equal to 0.2 ampere. T is equal to 3600 second. We have to calculate the charge. Already we know the current formula. I is equal to Q by T. T is cross multiplied. It gives the charge formula, that is Q is equal to I into T. Now you have to substitute the values, that is 0.2 into 3600. It is multiplied and gives the answer is equal to 720 coulomb. The unit of charge is coulomb. Understand, children? So next we have to move on to fourth question. The EMF of a cell is 1.5. EMF of a cell is what? 1.5 volt. So what is the symbol is given? The E value is given. EMF of the cell. What is the energy provided by the cell to drive 0.5 coulomb of charge around the circuit? It's nothing but we have to calculate the how much amount of the work has to be done on the cell is needed. We have to calculate the work only. That is, a work only is stored in the form of energy. That is only is taken as the what is the energy provided by the cell to drive 0.5 coulomb of charge around the circuit. So first we have to write what are the data are given. EMF value is given 1.5 volt and Q value is given 0.5 coulomb. We have to find out what is the energy is nothing but the work done we have to calculate. So already we know the formula EMF is equal to W by Q. Q is cross multiplied. So it gives the formula W is equal to E into Q. Okay. Now you have to substitute the values. E value is 1.5 and Q value is 0.5. Now you have to multiply and you got obtained the answer is 0.75 joule, because the unit of energy is joule. Substitute and multiply. Okay, children. Okay, now let us move on to fifth question. A charge of 2 into 10 power 4 coulomb flows through an electric heater. So the charge is flows through an electric heater. The amount of electrical energy into thermal energy is 5 megajoules, or you have to say million joules, megajoule. Compute the potential difference across the ends of the heater. In this place we have to calculate the potential difference. So what is the potential difference formula? V is equal to amount of work done by electrical charge. Already we discussed in the video, isn't it? So what are the data are given? The charge value is given, symbol is Q. Q is equal to 2 into 10 power 4 coulomb. And what is the energy value is given? That is the electrical energy is converted into the thermal energy. Some work has to be done is needed. So it given us W value 5 megajoule. 1 mega is equal to 10 power 6. So instead of M only we have to put what? 10 power 6. 5 into 10 power 6 joule. Okay. Now you have to substitute the values. So 5 into 10 power 6 is divided by 2 into 10 power 4. So the next step V is equal to 5 by 2 into 10 power 6 and 10 power 4 is shifted to the numerator term. The plus is changed into minus. Already you know the trigonometry, the formula a power m into a power n is equal to a power m plus n. The powers will be added, isn't it? So here what will come? 6. Here the m gets a value is equal to 6 and n gets a value is equal to minus 4. So it will be added. It's a plus into minus minus. So it will be subtracted. 6 minus 4 is equal to what? 2. So what will come? 5 by 2 into 10 power 2. 10 power 2 is nothing but what? 100 is needed. So 1 2 is 2, 52 is 100. Then 55 are 250 volts. Substitute and simplify, you'll get the answer. Are you understand, children? So next we have to move on to the book bag problems. First question. Rubbing a comb on hair makes the comb hit 0.4 coulomb. Already we discussed the first video. It produces the charges, isn't it? Rubbing a comb on your hair. Find which material has lost electron and which one gain it. So the first one you have taken as the material is comb which gained the electrons and the hair gained it. It gains the what? The electrons. And second one we have to calculate. Find how many electrons are transferred in this process. How many electrons are processed in transferred in this process. Already we know the charge of an electron, that is E is equal to 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. And we have to find out the number of the electrons we have to find out. So what is the N formula? N is equal to Q by E. What is the Q value is given? Q is equal to 0.4 coulomb. 0.4 coulomb value is given. So it is substituted here. So what will come? N is equal to Q by E, that is 0.4 is divided by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. In the previous question also we discussed, no, the 10 power minus 19 is shifted to the numerator term. It gives 0.4 is divided by 1.6 into 10 power plus 19. So both the places is multiplied by 10, it becomes the whole number. Instead 0.4 is multiplied by 10, it gives 4. 1.6 is multiplied by 10, it gives 16 into 10 power 19. And again you have to simplify. What will come? Or else you have to simplify. This is 1, 4 is 4. 4 4s are 16. So it gives the answer is 1 by 4 into 10 power 19. So 1 is divided by 4. What will come? This is taken as 1. And this is taken as 4. 1 is not divided by 4. So what you have to do? Add zeros and afterwards put point. Then 2 4s are 8 is needed. So remaining 2 0. 5 4s are 20. So the answer is 0.25 into 10 power 19. It's enough. Or 110 is split out from 10 power 19. It's multiplied with 0.25. It gives the answer is 2.5 into 10 power 18 electrons. Both answers are same only. Are you understand, children? So next we have to move on to calculate the amount of charge that would flow into us through an element of an electric bulb drawing a current of 2.5 ampere. So we have to find out to the what is the amount of the charge flows through the electric bulb. So how many hours it's flowing? It's 2 hours. What is the value is given? T value is given. T is equal to 2 hours. R is converted into the second. How will we convert? 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. 1 minute is equal to 60 second. So what will come? 60 is 3600. It's multiplied by 2. It gives us 7200 second. Check it once, okay? And what is the value is given? The current value is given. I is equal to 2.5 ampere. What we have to calculate? Charge. What is the formula? Already we know the current formula. I is equal to Q by T. So what will come? Q is equal to I into T. Already discussed in the book inside problem, isn't it? So substitute the known values. I is 2.5 and T is 7200. It's multiplied. It gives the answer is 18,000 coulomb.
Good morning, my dear students. Today we learn about Lewis dot structure. When atoms combine to form compounds, their valence electrons only involve in bonding. This can be done using Lewis dot symbol method. The Lewis dot structure or electron dot symbol for an atom consists of the symbol of the element surrounded by dots representing the electrons of the valence shell of the atom. The unpaired electron in the valence shell is represented by a single dot, whereas the paired electrons are represented by a pair of dots. An atom's valence electrons can be represented by a Lewis dot structure. This is the Lewis dot structure for hydrogen. We know symbol of hydrogen is capital H, atomic number 1. So, 1 electron present in hydrogen atom. So, symbol of hydrogen H and electrons, only 1 electron is present. So, we keep 1 dot. So, this is the Lewis dot structure for hydrogen. Next, Lewis dot structure for helium. He is the symbol of helium. In helium, 2 electrons are present. So, we keep 2 dots. So, this is the Lewis dot structure for helium. Next, this is a Lewis dot structure for nitrogen. And we know capital N is the symbol for nitrogen. And atomic number of nitrogen is 7. And electronic configuration is 2,5. So, first shell having 2 electron and the second shell having 5 electron. So, that means the outer orbit having 5 electron. So, that 5 indicate that is the valence electron. So, electronic configuration is 2,5. That 5 denotes the valence electron. So, we keep 5 dots because that dots represent the valence electrons only. So, 2,5. 5 is the valence electrons. So, we keep 5 dots. So, this is the Lewis dot structure for nitrogen. Lewis dot structure for some atoms are here. If we know the symbol of an element and atomic number of an element means we can write the Lewis dot structure. Okay students, so I hope you understood Lewis dot structure. So how you write the Lewis dot structure? Symbol of the element and that dot represent the valence electrons. Okay students, next we discuss the types of chemical bond. Children, we have learned in the previous class what is a chemical bond. A chemical bond may be defined as the force of attraction between the atoms that binds them together as a unit called molecule. So, chemical bond means that is a force of attraction between the atoms. Okay, students, let us discuss different types of chemical bonds. There are different types of chemical bonding possible between atoms which make the molecules. Among these, let us learn about the ionic bond, covalent bond and coordinate bond in this chapter. Children, today we discuss ionic bond. Generally, ionic bond is formed between a metal and a non-metal. So, ionic bond is formed between a metal and a non-metal. And children, what is ionic bond? Complete transfer of electron from one atom to other atom is called ionic bond. That means transfer of electron from metal to non-metal is called ionic bond. Because we know metal always lose electron, non-metal always gains electron. So complete transfer of electron from metal to non-metal is formed ionic bond. So ionic bond is formed between a metal and a non-metal. Let us see one example how ionic compounds are formed. Let us discuss the formation of sodium chloride. We know sodium is a metal. Symbol of sodium Na, and chlorine is a non-metal. Symbol of chlorine Cl. Atomic number of sodium is 11. Electronic configuration is 2, 8, 1. It has one electron excess to the nearest stable electronic configuration of a noble gas neon. So, sodium has a tendency to lose one electron from its outermost shell and acquire a stable electronic configuration forming sodium cation. That means Na plus ion. Because electronic configuration of sodium is 2, 8, 1. So, it loses that one electron means it attains the stable electronic configuration of 2, 8. Next, atomic number of chlorine is 17 and its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 7. It has one electron less to the nearest stable electronic configuration of a noble gas argon. So, chlorine has a tendency to gain one electron to acquire a stable electronic configuration forming chloride anion. Because in chlorine electronic configuration is 2, 8, 7. So that outer orbit 8 electron mean that is a completely filled stable shell. So here 7 electrons present. So that chlorine need one more electron to attain this stable configuration. So it gained that one electron and it forming chloride anion. That means Cl minus ion. When an atom sodium combines with an atom chlorine, that sodium lose one electron and that electron will gain by the chlorine non-metal. So when an atom of sodium combines with an atom of chlorine, an electron is transferred from sodium atom to chlorine atom, forming sodium chloride molecule. As the result of this electron transfer, atom sodium will become positive ion, that means cation, and atom chlorine will become negative ion, that means anion. These oppositely charged ions are held together by electrostatic force of attraction, which is called ionic bond or electrovalent bond. Okay students, next we move on the characteristics of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are hot crystalline solids. Why these compounds are crystalline solids? Because ionic compounds are formed because of the strong electrostatic force between cations and anions, which are arranged in a well-defined geometrical pattern. Thus, ionic compounds are crystalline solids at room temperature. And we can crush these ionic compounds because they are brittle in nature. And students, what is meant by brittle? It is broken in nature. And ionic compounds having high melting and boiling points because cations and anions hold the ions tightly together by the strong electrostatic force So, very high energy is required to separate them. Hence, ionic compounds have high melting and boiling points. Ionic compounds are soluble in polar solvents like water. So, ionic compounds are soluble in water. Next, electrical conductivity. Ionic compounds are crystalline solids and so their ions are tightly held together. The ions therefore cannot move freely and they do not conduct electricity in solid state. However, in molten state, their aqueous solutions conduct electricity. So, in ionic compounds, that is solid state, do not conduct electricity, but in molten state and aqueous solutions conduct electricity. So, students, what are the basic properties of ionic compounds? They are crystalline solids at room temperature, melting point and boiling points are high, and in solid it does not conduct electricity, but in molten and aqueous solution it is a excellent conductors, and generally it is soluble in water. Okay students, so today we discussed ionic bond formation and characteristics of ionic compounds. Next class we will discuss covalent bond. Thank you students.